Hello everybody and welcome back to game number 2. Let's get this game underway. Yeah, I unpaused it. Some of the rules we set down for the best of 5 series was no repeating maps and loser picks map, and we decided Zelnaga Caverns would be the first map just because it's very fair and we both agreed upon it and we're friends and we can talk about it and it's all good. And so I picked Shakura's Plateau because I actually really like this map and I think it's really good for taking a 3-gate fast expansion. And I think coming into this game, that was my plan all along, was I want to go for a 3-gate fast expand and try not to apply as early pressure and try not to commit so much to those attacks, you know. So we'll see how these this change in strategy works out for us here. And as he's gonna send his scout in, and this isn't the MLG map, this is the regular one, so I know that you can't, I don't know if you didn't know this, but I know that in the regular map you can't spawn on the same side as your opponent. So immediately I know he's either I'm the pink, he's either at the top left, top right, or bottom right. I know he cannot be on the same side as me. I don't think he was aware of that, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my scout in as quickly as I can. And I always send it after pylon. I know there's not much to see. He's going to throw down his gateway. I tried to block it there, but couldn't make it exactly. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for, first, his gateway to go down. The gateway timing is very critical. I'm also looking for his second pylon timing and his gas timing. So I'm going to withdraw my probe because I don't want problems. I don't want probe on probe hate right now. And I hope I don't get 5-0'd. Yeah, I'm really nervous. Going into this, I'm already down 1-0, and honestly, I feared that he was gonna raffle stomp me from the beginning. And he says, "You mean 3-0'd?" And of course he's right because it's a best of 5, which means you play 3, and I'm a total noob. And yeah. See, I'm total noob, guys. That's what I am. It's all good. It's all good. Go ahead and transfer 3 workers into that gas. He saw the timing of that. He sees the timing of that. He knows I'm going for the eco 14, maybe 14 gate. He's gonna go ahead and standard timing. I think his was a 13 gate again. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw down that second gateway very fast. And yeah, and the cybernetics core at the same time. I'm skipping Zealot. I skip Zealot to get the second gateway out faster, just because I know that he's not going to put on pressure with his early Zealot, so why am I going to rush to get one out? It can't really do much against the scouting worker, which I think has retreated as well, actually. So, good times. Units lost? Yeah, it's retreated for sure. So, yeah, I like to skip the first Zealot and get it out a little bit later. You know, there's not much it can do against the scouting probe. And it's not really that necessary that early on into the game. So yeah, and he's gonna go ahead. I like this. I like that he's positioning pylons at the perimeter of his base just to gain that vision, you know, vision over here, vision over there. I like to have pylons here too, just to see if there's any void rays incoming. I can react a little bit quicker than once they're over my mineral line. And I'm trying to block his probe from coming in by patrolling with my Zealot here. I'm gonna go straight for that Nexus. I'm actually gonna be quite bold, and I only have 2 gateways and just a stalker, a sentry. Oh, I'm queuing up as a sentry. I usually don't like to queue, but it was right at the end, so day 9, please be proud of me. 2 sentries to block off the ramp, not chrono boosting warp gate all that much, concentrating more on the probe count. So if we look at the income tab, I should be okay. Still incredibly behind. How does he have so many workers? What in the hell? I am that bad. Guys, I am so bad at this game, I can't even keep up my worker count. Looks like he has the same idea, going for the 3-gate fast expand. And what does he got? That's one of his, right? Yeah, I'm totally killing that thing. Yeah, that's one of his. That's another one. So he's got 2 workers out in the map. So even though he has a little bit of a worker advantage, he's not using it because he's using those workers to scout and to keep control of the watchtowers, and that's not ideal. It's okay if you're using your first scouting probe to keep control of a watchtower, but you definitely don't want to be sending out. Look, he had 2 on the watchtowers. Oh, I thought those were probes too, but they're just my sentries. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to apply a little bit of relief pressure here. He has good amount of sentries, so he can definitely wall off this ramp. Good thing to do is to send in a attacking unit. You know, if you lose one unit, it's better than losing all of your army by trying to press the ramp. And definitely not going to go for one of those close proximity pylons and almost semi all-in-ish, because once you lose that many minerals and that much army, it's really hard to come back. In the meantime, just applying that pressure to get up my nexus and get a nice healthy army count back here, and trying to keep up with him and his probe count. My goodness, he is good with his probes. What the heck? Man, I thought I was okay, but geez, he's making me look like a total noob. So he went for a 2-gate robo apparently. 2-gate robo into expand. Not that bad on this map, just because it's easy to secure this little choke with a couple of sentries. You don't need a high gateway count. If you have a high sentry count, you can get away with a 2-gate robo. And I went straight for the 3-gate expand, now throwing down the Twilight Council, because I like me my blink. My blink is my friend. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, yeah, definitely bad timing on this Twilight Council. I don't have the money for blink right now. And I'm definitely, yeah, just transferred the workers, so my income's going to start to go a little bit higher right now. And finally surpassing him, although his worker count is much higher than mine. I'm able to surpass him. His nexus is still quite far away, and but his observer is going to come in here, and this is really good. He knows the timing. He knows that, hey, 9 minutes. Hey, what's going to happen at 9 minutes? Well, if I went for a 4-gate, that would have happened at the 7-minute mark, 7:30. So he knows, hey, 9 minutes. He's either taking an expansion or going for some techie build, maybe Colossus. So he's going to see my Twilight Council researching, and he's either going to guess blink or charge. Both are good options against protoss. He sees the forge building, and he's going to see the amount of saturation on my base, and that's really important. Notice I did put pylons out on the perimeter. I just really cautious to see, you know, incoming units. And yeah, gonna go ahead and throw down a 4th gateway now that my base is operational, and my income is starting to really pay for itself right now. As you can see, he's transferred some workers and started get saturation of his own over here. And look at the army size tab. We are actually pretty close. I think the difference comes in just that he has, I think, 2 immortals, and mine is a lot of stalker sentry. So immortals destroy stalkers. So I should have seen this coming. I should have sent in more scouting information and seen, hey, he has a lot of immortals. Maybe I shouldn't go for stalker, blink stalkers. Oh, and he's getting a Stargate with a void ray. Oh, this is deadly. I don't know if I agree with the 2 photon cannons. I think that's unnecessary. You already have an observer, so don't worry about DTs. And your army's sitting right here. Why would you put photon cannons there? I would prefer putting them more in the back. Like I said in the last game, I make that mistake too, but I think in this game I'm a little bit more wise to that. See, I haven't thrown down any cannons yet. I'm spreading out my army. Just I want to make sure that if he starts pressing, I have a good concave, getting all my units to fire. And now he sees the high stalker count. He knows that I'm going blink stalker for sure. Luckily, I'm going to get out an observer right now and pick off his observer. Hopefully, yeah, picked off the observer. And yes, so at this point, I have a 4-gate and delayed 4-gate, and I have a robo. I have +1 coming, +1. Let's look at the production tab. +1 weapons, and I decided, hey, let's go peek into his base, see what we can do. Just with the stalkers, I'm not interested in doing all that much killing him. But what I'm going to try to do is take my observer and try to blink up into the back of his main. Now, is he aware of this? No, he's not, and he's continuing to get void rays. His void ray count is growing. Luckily, I have my observer. Bam. So that's good. Luckily, he has those pylons that give him the critical vision. He's going to be able to see me blinking up here immediately and start pulling his army back. But we'll see what kind of damage I can do here as I come in and I go straight for the probe line. And let's see what I can do. Not that much. I took out 2 or 3 workers. That is not all that much. Oh man, White Rob would be disappointed in me right now. And I should really be pulling out right now as I see his army incoming. Definitely should have shift queued Blink and not lost that one stalker. Wasted force field, that's always good. And I'm gonna be able to retreat from there, and that's really good. That's really important. And yes, so where am I going now? And what am I doing? I should have followed this up with a third expo. Notice, my goodness, do I have stock in the bank of StarCraft. So does my friend here. We're both pretty bad with our macro. We're working on it. Please be patient with us, people. But my macro is just atrocious at the moment. I should have taken an expo. He knows I have Blink Stalkers. He's going to be scared because his army is much less mobile. I should have double expanded or single expanded. And I'm going for Templar, and I just finished Storm, and I have some Templar. I'm morphing them into Archons because I love Archons. This is pre-patch, and this is something that I've been working on, is not so much Colossus. Let's focus more on the Archon, because the Archon deals massive damage, and I feel that the Colossus is so easy to counter. I mean, if you get out some Phoenix, or in any matchup, if you get out Vikings, Colossus don't matter. If you get out Corruptors, it is so hard to deal with Corruptors. But how do you deal with Archons? It's really difficult to try to deal with an Archon Immortal mix. You have to get out some kind of EMP or feedback. So he would have to change his route and go for Twilight Council tech, and I don't even think he has a Twilight Council. No, he does not. No, not yet. But his army size, let's look at the army size tab. He's pulling ahead in the army size because he has that non-stop void ray production, and he has his warp gates are pretty much consistent, and he's coming out with tons of immortals. So luckily I pull back here and I decide, hey, I'm checking for expos, just making sure with my fast stalkers, just move them around the map and check for expos. Just making sure that, sorry, I heard a noise again. Just making sure that there's nothing sneaky going on, no sneaking expansion. And I decided to throw down my third, what's it called? What is this thing called? Nexus. My third Nexus. Super late. I should have thrown it down here, thrown one down here, and thrown one down here. And that forces my opponent to commit to an attack on one side. And that would be good for me, because if his units are all the way up there, I can ditch one expansion and, you know, say, hey, you know what, you take out my fourth, but I still have a third. And luckily, unluckily for me, he's getting up his third, and his is much faster than mine. So he's got a much better timing. Of course, our thirds are super late. Now I'm going to push in here, and his army's a little bit out of place. They're not quite ready to deal with this, and I'm going to be able to he cancels the photon cannons, I think, but I'm going to be able to take down this Nexus. I don't see his army coming yet. Oh my goodness, his army is so late to come. Luckily, I'm able to force field his probe line, so they are stuck, and he's taking massive damage. He's supply blocked at the moment, but his void rays are doing a number to my army, and I decide, you know what, better push back. I did enough harassment. My slow sentries might get taken out by those void rays, but I'm going to fall back to my third. Haven't transferred workers. If we look at the income tab, let's look at the worker count. He's way ahead of me, so even though I did all that damage in the units lost tab, yeah, he's way behind on the damage, but his probe line is pretty much untouched. He has good enough probe saturation to get all three pretty much saturated. Now he hasn't taken the gas, which surprises me because he's going for Council and the Stargate and the Robo. He has a Warp Prism, but he's still supply blocks, which that's crucial. He's so focused on this, so he's a little bit supply blocked at the moment. We'll see what happens here. Now his void rays are in a good position because there's not much I can do. If I blink in there with my stalkers to get the void rays, the immortals will take me out. So there's not much I can do at the moment. And if we look at the units lost tab, I'm quickly falling behind, warping in more Archons. I didn't even get Storm. I don't like Storm. I think it's good for against other races, but against protoss it's not all that good. The void rays are doing a number because I have such a low stalker count, and I can't really get up a stalker count because of this high immortal count. What a good unit composition. What a good way to push and counterattack to my failed offensive. Catching me a little bit off guard. My probes can't transfer down here. I'm falling quickly behind. Units lost tab. I lost 2,400 units more than him. This is critical. This is really bad for me. I decide ditch my third. Let's try to mount up an offensive here and push in with all zealots. And not the best idea. I have charge, but the immortals and the stalkers will just eat the zealots, and there's not much I can do at the moment, and we'll see what happens. What can I do, really? I'm not quite sure. Sorry, I had to close the door. So I will open some more stalkers, try to hold my ramp, but there's not much I can do. A little bit of blink micro is not going to save me. I don't know what I can do, really. I don't know where I can go. I'm losing my second base now. He knows he has this. And let's see if he's following this up with another expansion. Good RTS planning. He's transferred workers again. And yeah. Intense game. GG. Let's go on to game 3. I'm down 2-0 at the moment. Let's go on.